Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's had a nice weekend and not too strenuous Monday. And we're back for some Monday night DevOps. So let's get things going. There we are. Cool. Alrighty. So, I think tonight we're going to go back into looking at application insights, see if we can get that running, because we didn't quite get there last time. And also I'll be answering any questions anyone has about Microsoft Build 2023 over the evening. So I've been doing a lot of content watching. There should be a blog post coming out relatively soon, which I was involved with, giving some updates from it. But yeah, there was lots of stuff there, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. So, let's get going. Now, tonight's going to be a little different because I am having some issues with my local machine. It's not behaving particularly nicely at the moment. So, what we're going to do tonight is we're actually going to use code spaces instead of my default machine. So, which is all easy enough to do. So, what we do is we come over here to code spaces, and I'm going to say create code space on main. And what this is going to do, it's going to spin up an instance of code spaces. So you get about, I think it's about 15 hours free-ish per month to run a code space. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to double check that. Actually, we can do that while it's spinning up. So what are the free usage limits of code spaces? So that's code space for personal accounts. So for free accounts, 120 core hours and 15 gig a month. For subscribers, which I'll be a subscriber, at least I think I am. I'll have to check. It's 120 core hours and 20 gig a month. So that should be alright. So yeah, I don't think we're using, I think the base code space only has about 4 cores. So that's whatever, what's that? Let's go calc 120 divided by 4, so that's 30 hours, which is more than enough for me for the moment. That's all good. So it does take a little while to build, and it's luckily we had previously defined a dev container, so we actually have a container here which is using the correct version of .NET, has the Azure CLI, has Terraform, Docker, and Docker doesn't really matter for this one because that won't work. So hopefully that's not going to stop me from building, but that should be fine. That's mainly for when I'm running it on my local machine and I want to be able to host Docker files or run Docker images inside the environment. But at the moment, it's my Docker instance is playing up, so I'll sort that later. Alright, there we go, container built. Cool, and now it's setting up the connection. Now I could try and do this inside Visual Studio Code on my machine, but I thought I might as well show what the experience looks like through a web browser. So let's just set it up. Cool. So you can see here we've got everything we need. There we go. So that should be fine. We do just need to go update a couple of extensions, and these will be Copilot and Copilot Chat, but I actually need to go check. No, I'm using the insider version of this, so I have access to some of the newer stuff. So Copilot. So we installed the nightly version of Copilot. This is just so we get access to the newer things. And then we install Copilot Chat. Cool, that's installed. There we go, and Copilot Chat's up and running. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's run result dependencies. So yep, sure. Do restore, thank you. And what we'll have to look for here is, so we've got our applications inside our different environments. So we've got our dev, prod, test, and shared. And in shared we have our application insights, which is where we want to be trying to push some of that data. So now last time it wasn't quite working. We were getting no data at all. So what we want to do is see if we can get that going. So just double check. So I know we were playing around with a few of the actions. We'll just see what my build pipeline is doing. So the build pipeline should be fine. I'm not going to worry too much. I know last time I was speaking about Terraform and having its state get out of sync and what we call drift. I'm not going to worry about that too much tonight. I'm going to focus on trying to get App Insights going. Cool. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll go back to the terminal. Now, did I have a branch that I was working on? I did have an App Insights branch. Now, I don't know if that's maybe a bit out of date. So it says 45 behind. That's right. We'll go into here and we'll do a duplicate pull first, make sure we've got the most up-to-date main. Good. Okay, and then we'll pull that one as well. Sure, I'll let it run git fetch periodically just to make sure we've got all of the things that we need. And I'm going to do a git merge main. Alright. Nothing to me, commit, alright, we can just do a git push. Okay, so we should be good. We should have everything that was from main into this branch now. Cool, alrighty, let's. Music's tad loud tonight. Let's just drop that back a little. Alrighty, so let's get going. So we've got our application insight, we've got our instrumentation key, we have our endpoint. Let's go check that endpoint is correct. So that's our dashboard. We don't really need that at the moment. Let's just open a new page, leave that dashboard where it is. And let's go have a look at application insights. So that's the instrumentation key. Does that have everything I need? So that's the connection string. So let's pop that in there. Just going to go put it in all the places. We are sharing an application insight location for the moment. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to just using a random text message. Okay, cool, just a delivery for tomorrow, that's all good. Cool. Okay, so we've updated. All those should be the same. Is the database server and everything the same? Need to check that as well. So it's Twitch App DB and Twitch App SQL Server. So no, I think that's all changed too. So let's make sure we get that set correctly. I'll most likely need to redo identity on these as well. That's okay. Oop. I was putting a new line in, but it's apparently putting a new line in, which is annoying. So it does look like we did update the instrumentation key was updated before, so there were no changes. It's kind of like a new line and a tab inside that string I've copied, which is irritating, but oh well. Okay. It's fine. So we'll do that build. Oop. Hopefully I type it correctly. Make sure the application can build. What we might do here is give it a bit of a local run and see what it does locally. So we'll do an AZ login. It should pop open a new window for us to do our login. Didn't quite do the login, so let's go do that ourselves. Control signing you in. Okay, might have to use a device code, but okay, I'm not sure what that particular error was about, but let's try and just copy that line. That's right. Yeah, doesn't like that. Alright, we'll drop that one. Okay, that's alright. Cancel, thank you. And the command, it's use device code. Alright. that, and then we stick in device code. Okay. Log in here. Yep, that's B. Okay, not saying I didn't need to FA for that one today. Okay, all good, cool. So, do a .NET. Oops. Run. Alright, let's see if this will actually run and connect. Yep, it looks like it's connected. Alright, so we got a forward port, and we're going to try and connect on that port. Cool, so we have the application up and running. Now what we want to see is, are we getting anything from App Insights? Okay, so we're not getting anything yet. The application is definitely running. I know if I try and do a sort of login, it's most likely to fail, so we're going to leave that for the moment. So let's go have a quick look at the code. See if I have so I have injected the App Insights, configured telemetry. I think we're still getting nothing. Yep. Alright, cool. So what we'll do is we'll kill that running. What I want to do is go and try make sure the injection logger is working. Of course, where Starbase. That's there. Gee, where do you inject? Where do you inject those data App Insights? Now that's for WebAssembly. I don't think we're running WebAssembly here. I think we're running that displays as server side. Okay, so apparently I need to add detailed errors and some logging information. Okay, let's check. I do have some logging there. Maybe it's not quite enough. So let's grab the host one there. Put that there. Now that's just in. So that was warning. So default we have information, Microsoft warning. The hosting we have information, and we want detailed errors added in as well. Was that still in the logging? No, it's above the logging block, so in here. Okay. We don't need that one there. What we should do is we should grab that block, copy it over here. Let's put it in all of them for the moment. Okay. I'll do another .NET run. Okay. Let's head back. Not seeing anything on the dashboard. Let's not seeing anything here. Not seeing anything like metrics either. And nothing for application map. Okay. I'm missing something. So it looks like app service we can move. Okay, so maybe we try and do that on the service. Could try and do that and see if we can implement it on there directly without needing. Where am I? So we'll go to dev, go to the app service itself. This doesn't help us. We want to push from local, so let's ask. So that's one way. Okay, so this is application insights for ASP.NET Core, which is effectively what we're doing, just with Blazor front end. So that's for Visual Studio. Alright, let's check. Have we got that added as a reference? Just gonna move this to the side. Size that. We should get fancy zones running on this so we can resize a bit easier and snap things around. That's alright. So do we have application insights? So we have the extension logging, but we don't have this package. So let's that running. Let's put that package in there, and we'll restore that dependency. Back over to the application. I think we're going to remove this one here. Oh, actually that's in the logging. Let's leave that as it is. And let's go builder.services and application telemetry. Alright. Let's see if that changes anything. Terminal. Okay, now I might have an issue here because I don't have the connection string specified in that way. But let's go have a look. Yep, here we go. There's one server, so it does say that it's seeing something now. Let's go auto refresh. This will be 5 minutes, that's fine. But we are seeing something, so that's a positive sign. Seeing anything in here yet, but might need to give it a minute before that happens. Cool, alrighty. And let's see, live metric stream, let's see if that gives us anything. Seeing one server online. Here we go. Here we go. We are getting some metrics now. So we're getting like a CPU total. We're getting a committed memory. We're seeing this server name as code spaces. Alright. Cool. And then if I flip between a bunch of things at the moment to generate us some load. Alright, we're seeing that, cool. Alright, and let's see what happens when I attempt to do something with the database. Okay. And we're going to attempt to register. Now it's a mostly fail, mostly an exception, as I don't think the databases are working properly at the moment. There we go. Alright, cool. So we've got a failure for login with the client IP. Well, that's useful. Give me that client IP. Now, if we go back to... Cool. Here we go. We got some telemetry coming through. So this is showing us what the error is, saying that was the request that was done was an error of 500. There was a SQL exception. Say that was a dependency. Start a trace, and then yep, not cool. Got some things there. That's good. All right. Let's go and fix that particular issue on the database. Alright. That's the DB itself on the server. SQL server is where we do the networking controls. And we're going to add spaces. Just going to allow that. Also allow Azure services and resources to access the server. Okay, so that's fine. Shall we refresh the page? So that's right, that's the password we set up for that one, it's all good. Ooh, so hit register again. Now it could still fail because I don't think the databases have been recovered from the last time here. So failed user token identified principal. Okay, that's right. So I think that's just access to the database itself. I think that was what's going on here. So we've got another. So that was that issue. I'll just check what this error message is. usually related to an active user directory has not been added to the SQL DB that you're trying to connect, or that user is not the AD server admin. Am I not server admin? Maybe not. What am I doing? Okay. So let's go back and look at the database. Let's see the SQL server. Sorry, we've got database. We want to try and log in just with our account here. And attempt to log in. So it's saying login failed. So we don't have that user in the database yet. So that's right. So what we can do is we want to set up identity. No, I want to set up the admin user. Okay, so we got SQL admin there. Do I actually have? Don't remember what the password I said was. Don't think I do actually. I don't think I have that noted down. That's okay though. I do want to switch this over to using the Active Directory though. That's fine. So let's go back to server. There's your Active Directory. So you can see no to set. I want to set myself as the DB admin. Okay, let's save. Okay. Let me go back to the database. Okay, now it's giving me the issue where I'm logging in from my machine. So let's go and add myself to the exceptions. So we have an exception coming from code spaces and from that client IP. It's fine. And now if we do, now I can log in. Okay. So now if let's actually just refresh the page. That's not what I want. No, thank you. Let's just get a new one. That'll do. Sure. Alright, so let's register that account. Let's see if this will let me in now. No, we've still got a login failed for user. Might need to restart the application, I think. Let's restart the application. Now, I did want to check the application insights connection string here. Let's do if we get more logs. Now it is trying to use the instrumentation key here, but we don't want to do that. Actually want to be doing the connection string, and then we want to use this connection string. Let's grab that and go put that everywhere. I wonder if we'll get more logs from everything by doing that. Okay, let's see if that makes a difference. browser. Let's get a look, see if since there's 6 new there. Oh, we're getting a bit. I think we're getting a bit more data now. So we're getting the request duration, the request rates. We're not just getting kind of exceptions and logs that are coming directly out of the application now. We're actually getting some of the other telemetry, which is good. Okay. So we'll register. And we'll suggest strong password. It's fine. Update, register. So it should be using my account information here since I did log in to the Azure CLI. No, it still doesn't like something. It still doesn't like something here. Maybe we need to do this. Okay, so we've done the database server there, that's fine. I don't want to use a PowerShell. Okay, so maybe what we need to do is that create user from external provider. Let's just put that over there. And then let's go create user. How does it want us to do that? Run. No, not that. Angle brackets. Alright. That's better. Let's go back. Try and register again. Nope, still did not like it. So let's stop and rerun. So we don't have any tables or anything at the moment, so that also could be problematic. So that's maybe part of what's going on here. We haven't pushed the entity framework migrations yet. So we'll apply the migrations. So that's how we make the migrations. And we do okay, so we don't have helps if we have any framework installed. Started, install. Let's do that one. Allow. Alright. Let's see if we can hit that database now. So we should still have our context from the AZ CLI. More than one DB context was found. Do I only have one? Do we have multiple? We have multiple. Ooh. Which one's the one I want? Why do I have multiple? Let's go. Let's try that one. Yeah, I'm not sure why I have multiple. I can't remember the reason that was set up. Still succeeded. I'm thinking about it now. Still thinking about it. I'm just checking some messages while it does this. Alright, so maybe it's applying? Hope it's applying. Let's go back to here. Okay, so we got that login failure ID again. That's annoying. Why are we still getting a database issue? Let's just go and copy down the connection string and make sure I haven't got that wrong somewhere. Maybe something happened there. Unhappy there. Missing that. Okay. Escaping? No. Replace it with those. Alright, let's see if that has any effect. Okay, that apparently was part of the issue, so that's fine. Let's go have a look then. Alright, we have all our tables back. Now let's try and run it, hey? I think there's a few things that was doing a bit funny there, but that's okay. Open up the application. Do a register. Stick in our email. Suggest a strong password. And register. There we go. And sure, we'll update that for this demo application. Now it's going to say that we're not logged in because we don't have that enabled. So if we go and have a look here, I think it was that one. This one, and we select. So we got lockout enabled is true. So I think then if we edit that one, and we say false. Save. Now we should be able to email confirmed, put as true as well. So we now should be able to log in. There we go, and we're logged in. Cool, so identity is working, and then if we go have a look at our app insights, so again we'll see our request rates, we'll see our committed memory, CPU total, the exceptions, and then we'll see that application, and it's just filtered by that application. Cool. And if we go have a look at our application map, we will see, cool, so here's some good information. So we can see that the instance is currently connecting to credentials, so it's calling out to AAD. We can see that it's calling out to the database and it's tracking those calls. And we can also see that it's connected through to, I'm pretty sure that's public internet. And where those calls are going. Great. So that's all good. So what I'll do is let's get that. So I'm going to fix the database connection string here and make sure that's across all of our applications. And let's try and get all the applications up and running. Now they all are going to share a database, which is not great, but for the moment we'll leave that go. We'll look at splitting out databases a little bit later. Okay. Build. All right. And we'll commit this. Right, and push this one up. Alrighty, and then we can do our PR. pair that with main. Okay, and we're going to merge that request in. Alrighty. So now we should have our app build going. Alrighty, so now we'll see if that deployments are working. Now we're mostly going to have some issues here too because we haven't set access to the database for applications. So, going to need to do that. So what we'll do is we're going to go into each of the applications, going to give them an identity. Oh, so they do. So they have an identity. Okay. So we want to do a user assigned identity, maybe. Yeah, let's set up user assigned identities. Which means we have to set up them. I wonder if we can do it from here. Go in to the database. Let's see if we can set up a role. There's a role assignment I can set up in here. So this is all database. Doesn't let you access. That's okay, so we don't need to do that. Okay, go into the database. Now, what we should do here is we should actually give each of the applications a service principal. See what's going on with the deployment. So deployed to dev. Okay, let's go and see if dev is running. So let's go back to live metrics. So live metrics currently off. Okay. So this should be. Let's go and look at what the logs are doing in this one here. I wonder if we're having that issue again where we couldn't pull from the registry. I think that might be the case. All right. Getting all sorts of errors. Metrics. I don't want metrics. Service logs. Let's see if that's that. Log stream. That's one. Log stream. All right. Okay. Is that just rapidly restarting? Is that what's going on? Why are we rapidly restarting? That's a bit funny. Let's see if I can hit. No, apparently you can't hit it. Okay. Let's clear that. Let's check application insights. I'm getting nothing from that one. Okay, what's going on here? We've got a system assigned. Don't think we have deployment slots because we're not on standard, we're just on free tier. Turn image 46. It has gone and deployed to all because we haven't set anything there. So 46 is correct. Let's see if any of them. Yeah, that service is stopped. Okay, that's fine. Let's do that as well. Let's stop completely and give it a chance. Okay. Alright, it's a lot of logs all very quickly. Alright. Let's clear that. And then let's restart. See if we can get some logs coming through. What are we seeing? Not seeing any logs from today, are we? Seem to think it's running, but I just... something is not happy. Wonder if maybe access to application insights is not happy. So sending through a key, so that should be fine. The instrumentation key here. So what's going on? I'm not getting any logs. See if I can turn on application insights from outside. Just do an info. Apply some new monitoring settings there, see if that helps. This is just telling us there's an issue. Okay, sure. Doesn't help a whole heap. Alright. So now it's telling it it's connected. So application insights here. Restart it. So I don't know if this is an issue where it can't pull the container again. Let's go and have a look at container registry as well. Should have to make sure that the identity here has access. Okay, so if you look at it from that direction, it should have access to ACR pool. Where were we? No, not that one. So identity role assignment, we have ACR pool. Let's do a resource group. Let's give you contributor over your own resource group. Okay. And I'll give you contributor over the SQL data as well. See if that couldn't help. Now that may take a little bit to update. So let's just stop that for the moment. So it's failures here. So not really giving us too much that we can go off from the moment. Okay, let's go back. Still waiting on those to come through. Do we see anything happening? There. Let's see if we can see when things are being pulled. So there's the tag. Does that have something? Doesn't have like a count of how many metrics. Alright, so we're getting definitely pull a count, like they're trying to pull, but the successful pull is 0. So that makes me think that there is an issue with access to identity again. Let's also give the ACR a managed identity, a system assigned identity as well. Okay, so we've got those other identities running now. So let's start and see if that helps us at all. Can we go back to the log stream? Oh, what's flashing? Well, that seems a bit more positive. We haven't got like an end of and then nothing. Don't have any. Oh no, I've got an App Insights connection live. Nothing there at the moment. Well, let's have a look, shall we? No, I'm still getting an error there. Something seems to be killing this off. This looks like still in the last hour, so if we only go to 30 minutes, we might not have anything. So now it's still from the code spaces, it's not from the application. Let's have a look. Is that the correct Twitch app ACR? That looks incorrect. See if we can fix that, because that maybe was a typo in config. Okay, that will fix some things for us. Let's save that. So it looks like maybe we have a config issue there with that Docker registry server URL. It's an S in there that doesn't need to be in there. Stop. That's stopping it from successfully logging in and pulling the image. So doesn't look like anything's running. Still nothing in the live metrics. See if I'm getting anything out of app service. Not getting anything in here. Nothing in here. No, doesn't look like any logs in there at all. Okay. It's telling me something's running. Don't have any health checks. That doesn't help. It's 24 hours, skill lost 3 minutes. Anything coming up yet? Yes, App Insights isn't going to tell us anything unless we can actually get the application running. Okay, we'll stop it again. So if that's correct still. Okay. gonna give it a roll here and see if that fixes anything. So while we're waiting, I think maybe I need something in here. Maybe we need to do that. So it just isn't working. So give me a second. I'm just going to pull this off screen for a sec. It's credential based. Oops. Big over there. Alright. Just gonna go and play with some credentials. Just drag this one over as well. So we need to set I want us to set a couple of application settings. So let's just try and get those done, see if that helps us here. So just want to kind of get past this part at the moment. It just seems to be having all sorts of issues logging in to the Azure Container Registry. Now I don't know if this is just an app service issue or if this is something a bit wider. But I haven't had this issue with running Azure Container Apps or Azure Container Instances or with AKS or anything like that. So could be just a configuration issue with app service that I'm not aware of. That's right. Okay, so I think that's giving us all the things we want. So let's bring all this back over. And let's try and restart this again. And we'll go have a look at a log stream and see if that log stream changes anything. Let's clear those logs. Give it a little bit and see if it picks up. At least we have something working from App Insights, which is good. for the last 30 minutes. I think that's the same one. Maybe trace the last 1 minute. Done with the networking. Yeah, networking's fine. Density should be fine. Still no new traces. It says it could take up to 10 minutes. A little bit annoying, but that's alright. It's what it is. So you're working from here. What you should be able to do now is check out main, call main. Should be able to run this locally. Right, so it seems to be running locally. To the forward port, and we can see live metrics coming in again from that code spaces instance. So when we do get it running from another instance, we should see the app service name come up down here, indicate that we are running. Alright, I might go take a quick break while we wait for this to go on. So I will be back shortly. Let's see if we can leave that there. Alright, and we're back. So, looks like what's happening is it's not pulling the right image. Also, we're still getting hosting environment production, and we're getting a listening on 8081, but I don't feel like we're getting the correct application here. And that instrumentation key looks fine, but the environment is not fine. I don't know if I need to set this as a deployment slot setting. Shouldn't, but shouldn't be an issue. I mean, we don't think we have deployment slots because again, we're running on that free tier. I wonder if this container image here is wrong. How can I change that? It looks like it's missing some things there. I also saw an option in here which was to deploy to a web app. No, I think that's to create a new web app though. Don't think helps us right now. Let's back to the configuration. The registry server URL is correct here. Container name here. I wonder if is it wrong in the pipeline. Registry login server. Let's just maybe go visit that setting. We'll go and update that. We'll give it the full value here. Once 2FA. Part of me is sitting here thinking it might just be easier on Kubernetes, which is a bit of a funny thing to say. Kubernetes being much more complex. Okay, so that's fine. I'll leave those at the moment. Let's go and trigger another deployment. Going to rerun this deployment now and see if this will update some things. Let's just go ahead and build. Okay, so pushing up that registry. If this still ends up being really like not working the way we want it to, what we might do is we might pivot slightly, because we've shown a proof of concept here. We've shown kind of an end-to-end how we develop an application, set up some environments, set up the Terraform, deploy into Azure, deploy some shared resources, do some monitoring with application insights, at least from the local one, and work on some things here. But what I would like to get further into is kind of deploying multiple different parts of the system and them all talking to each other. So what we might do is build ourselves like a little microservices system, and in that case I might use Azure Container Apps as a better target. And the reason for that over Kubernetes is just cost, effectively. Azure Container Apps doesn't cost as much, whereas AKS you've got to deploy the node pools and everything, and that's where it will start to become a bit more problematic. Okay, so that's gone ahead and deployed to the web apps. It's updated that Docker component. So let's go have a look and see what's going on there. See if we can detect that change in the configuration. So that's still on 46. There we go. Okay, so we've got the container image here. Let's go look at the log stream. See if anything has changed in the log stream. Right, for the flashing. Let's let that settle for a minute. So we still only have one server connected, which is our local dev environment here. And what we might do also is we shift, after finish with this example, and we shift over to Azure Container Apps, is having a look at Bicep, which is an alternate to Terraform. So Bicep is Microsoft's kind of, no, I wouldn't say version of Terraform. It does different things. Essentially, it creates a nicer way of setting infrastructure as code, rather than using the Azure Resource Manager templates. Okay. That was saying name trace in 1 minute, so I'll give it a bit. Go here and see if I can get some metrics again. Interesting. Let's change that up a bit, but maybe I had an issue with where I was putting the images. That's a bit. Let's look at these ones. Yeah, that was funny. Why was it doing that? I didn't notice that. Okay, but we're now getting image pushed here. So let's have a look. So still no new trace. That's okay. Still only one instance. I'll have a look at some metrics and see if we've got any successful. Well, we had a successful pull here. That's better than we've had for pretty much all evening. We've had one successful pull of the image, so that's good. Let's see if there's anything here yet. Or if we've still got some failures. Thinking a bit longer than it was before. Still thinking. Go back to the log stream, but we're still thinking on the app. It hasn't died instantly like it was doing earlier. Don't have any telemetry yet. Oh, here we go. We have a server telemetry. There we go. Okay. So, I think that issue was more around it wasn't pulling the correct image. So definitely a configuration problem there from my end. It wasn't super clear. So it looks like, yeah, these repositories here, I was wanted this repository, for some reason it was being named this. Not overly sure why. So, but that seems positive. So let's go and we'll go and see if we can turn the other ones on and see what they're doing. So that one's here as well. So if we start this one up now. This will be interesting because I don't think we have the same URL, but we don't have any of the other information there. So I wonder if we can just come to the role assignments. I'm just gonna go on a subscription and we're gonna do ACR pull. And we're gonna save. Alright, and we will keep an eye out and see if this one will start. Now the other thing to test here is this connected to the database? Now, I've got to go and find what that password was, don't I? Let me just drag this over here. So, oops. And we're on, there we go. Still on the updev one here, so I'll change this one over to that test one and see if we're getting any logs out of that log stream. I'm trying to remember where. I store the passwords here. There they are. I'm not getting anything from this one just yet, because I think it's doing the same thing. And also, if I come back over here, so I attempted to log in, and also I'm getting a login failed for user. That's okay. Alright, so a couple of things to do there. Let's shut that one down. So we've still got, yeah, so a couple things we need to do. Let's continue on. So we've got test app, doesn't have access, I think, to container registry, but we'll leave that because I've tried to give it to, it just may take some time to refresh. We'll let that run through its thing. Now I think what we want to do here is try and give access to that identity that's tied to the dev one. Yeah, how do I want to do that? So again, if I register it as an app, I can give it kind of a name, and that would make sense. But yeah, I don't want to put that extra effort into this one specifically at the moment. So that's the ID. I wonder if I can use that inside the database. So just create user. The external. Is that it? Okay. So error could not be found, or this principal type is not supported. Okay, so we might need to give it some identity through a managed service, a managed identity there. Which is not really what I want to do with this one at the moment. Okay, yeah, this one's still not picking up because I don't think it has access to the environment. Okay. I don't really want to add in a managed identity. I have to go and create a managed identity. Not that it'll conflict with this managed identity, most likely will. Yeah, which I don't quite want to do at the moment. Alright, let's just see if I can get the other. I've got 2 instances running now. Is that kicked in? There we go, it's kicked in. Okay, cool. That just took a little while to kick in. So now we got 2 instances. So then I'll go to the 3rd instance. which is our prod one. And again, it'll be an identity at the role assignment, and then we say ACR pool. Okay, cool. So that gives it access to container registry that's going to pull the images, can get those images running, but the images are, well, the applications themselves don't have login context for the database. What we could do is try and set it up so that they have access to like a key vault, and then using the key vault essentially save some credentials for the database into the key vault and do it that way. Bit of messing around. Alright, so prod should be resyncing in a minute. Also, if we go back to here and we do the application map again, we should still now see the different. So we've got our dev there, we've got a test one there, app insights there. So yeah, so we're getting intelligent viewer. I'm not sure what intelligent view is going to do for us, but let's have a look, see what it does. Didn't change too much. That's okay. And we can go have a look and see. So this app should be running. Yep, that one's running. Again, we'll have the same issue with the database in the background. We can't create a user from the external provider. Yeah, so we'd have to create some connection string with the credentials in the connection string, which would make me then want to store that connection string in something like a key vault. Well, I guess what we could do, we could try and do it with environmental variables. So let's see if we can. Now let's see if I can remember how to create a user and give it password. So let's say user. Okay, good. Let's bring that window back in line. It was on the other window, so it's much too large now. So this doesn't what I want to do. So if we do a create, okay, so can we do the create login? I think we had an issue with this last time, but if we say login password equals password, so I don't mind this one too much because this is locked behind a firewall, so only specific IPs actually have access to this. So, failed to execute query, user must be in the master database. So, it doesn't help us. What we might do, where's the tool? It's Azure Data Studio. We can go to the Azure Data Studio really quickly. I don't think I have it installed. Oh, I do have it installed. Never mind. Let's see if I can connect. I've got a preview features just at the moment. Not like that recent one. No, I don't want to do it that way. Is there another way I can refresh these credentials? Yes, please. I'll see if we can get the database from there. I need more 2FA. Logging into my account again through a different window. Okay. Alright. So that's done there. I'm going to search. Can we browse? Apparently I need to re-authenticate again. Okay. Now getting another okay, that's that one. That's interesting. It's asking me to authenticate in a way that I don't actually think my authenticator works. That's interesting. Let's try. That one. Okay, no, that one was okay. I was just using a different authentication that I wasn't used to. So we'll go back to the browse. Okay, so now we've got the, I don't want all of them. Can I filter down to the subscription? Yes, let's go to just one subscription. So we want the actual SQL server. That should be fine. So we connect there. So this should now let us do that connection, which we can't do from inside. This is what we're doing. Let's start up that version. Okay. So not quite what we do. I do have a master, but I don't want to do that. Okay, let's go with new query. Okay, so from here we want to do a create login app login, do the password. Alright, we should be able to do that, so we should be able to run that. Cool, so that's done. Now what we should be able to do is create user from login. So that creates a user from login, that's cool. And then we say alter role db underscore data reader. Actually, for this we mostly need to switch our database, and then did I not spell that right? HDB go, and then I can't remember if I can do it all at once, but anyway, that's right. DB dot and then it's add login. Okay, so it doesn't like me doing the user. Okay, fine. Let's see if cannot add because it doesn't have do I do this on there, and then we say alter role reader and member. There we go. And we want db.writer as well. Okay, cool. So we should now have that. So now if I come back to my app service here, what I want to do is add this into the connection string. Okay. Now, what is the connection string for Azure SQL do? Do I need to do anything different to give it to the user ID and password? So that's the Azure ID. That should be fine just to give it user ID equals login, and then password equals SQL password. Okay, so now save that. Let's see if that will actually let us log in. Okay, so we open the browser. Okay, is it going to let me log out? Apparently, yes. Is it going to let me log in? Login failed for user because I am missing a semicolon. And actually that showed you a really good reason why you don't want to do the password plain text like this. Even in this, because that error message just dumped out that information there. But that's alright, it was my fault, I did miss a semicolon, so let's try that again. Just really unfortunate if it was something sensitive and it dumped it out. Alright. Let's try again. Alright, so let's go for login. Okay. Okay, no, that worked. Alright, cool. So, now what we want to do is actually set that connection string as an environmental variable. So, how do we do that with the .NET again? It's .NET variables. Okay, so it looks like I can just use something like that. So if I go, so the connection strings, oh, that's a lot of text, isn't it? Say, let's make sure it's quoted just in case there's any issues. Echo connection. Okay, so that works. So now what we want to do is we want to just get rid of I hate JSON not having like comments. Comments are not permitted in JSON. It's really annoying because I kind of want it to be want it to be there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go, let's just get a notepad on my side running, just so I don't lose track of that string. Alright, so let's go and remove the database connection from all of those, just to verify this is actually working the way I wanted to here. It's fine, and test as well. Okay, alright, so I've got the connection string set there as an environmental variable. So let's attempt to run and see if this will work. Nope, did not find. So let's go into program. Okay, so I want to pull it from configuration builder. Make sure, so let's do that, add the environmental variables in there so that we can attempt to pull from the environment. Alright, so we're building. No. Make sure I haven't typoed. No. doing something wrong. It needs to be prefaced with .NET. So let's try setting .NET, and then I think we need 2 underscores here. Let's try that one again. Nope, still not working. How do I do this? Why do I only need 1? Not 2. I thought I needed 2. I need a second layer. That's all. Let's try it with just the 1. Yep. No, it doesn't like it. I'm missing something really basic here, and it's mostly because my brain stopped functioning. It's gonna be super simple. It's command line. I don't want to do command line. Be, do I need to actually have it in here, but then give it nothing? As a value. Let's try it. And then when we echo, we want to echo so that's fine. So that still gives me the value I'm after. And we can run. So now it's got a blank value in there, so it's going to run, but then when we try and access the database, it will fail. And log out. Log out. Log in. No. Connection string will not be properly initialized. I'm going to refresh this and see if the rest of our instances have come up yet. Yes, so we've got those other instances are up now. That's good. So running everything. Alright, cool. Now it's just getting getting the configuration done. Okay, source collections. Let's try with, so don't do that, so just have connection strings and we do the double here. And then try to run again. Log in. Nope, not initialized. So try the export. So export. Put it on cap. Nope, too far. Okay, so we exported that. Let's see if that made any difference. There we go. Okay, that made the difference. All right. So we set a configuration in the app services called this and gave it that value, this should work. So let's try this. So go up here to dev, set this configuration here. So we're going to add a new application setting. We are going to call it that. Just close this off. And then we're going to go grab our information. And I'm actually going to remove. I'll leave the double quotes there just to see if it'll work. We add that in. Hit save. We continue. And then what we do is add. Yeah. So let's protect this main branch yet or not, because it's bad pushing to main, but I'm a bit tired, so I'm going to do it. Okay. Nope. Changes must be made through a pull request, but I bypassed it because I am the owner. That's fine. Okay, cool. So it's kicked off the deployment straight away. Okay, while it's doing that, I'm going to go set that value inside test app as well. That value, save that one, it's fine, doesn't matter if it's restarting, not going to do anything anyway. And then when it gets up to that point in the application, it will just restart anyway. Alrighty. What we should be able to do is go back to live metrics, and we should be able to see these kind of come up and go down. We currently have two instances running. Alright, where are we up to our deployments? So we're still building Docker image, so we've got all those things added. And so we've got all the extra application inside stuff in here, which we don't need anymore. So test and do the same here. It's fine. Alright, so it's deploying to dev now. Do this login. Alrighty. So we're looking for image with the tag of 48. Here's our current image. So there's that. So don't need that at the moment. So you see, oh, we don't need that open right now either. Smart detection is not really useful for us. So it's this operation, so checking performance, durations, things like that. So that's the times we have 3 apps up at the moment. should mean the dev. Still saying it's on 47. Now it's saying it's on 48. I've also lost one of them now. It'd be good if we could get the server name some kind of information, we knew what server or what app service that was connected to. It might be its identity. Let's have a look. DFA is no, so it's not its identity. Okay, well that's come up now. So let's go and have a look. See if we've got this running. Okay, so the application's running. We do a login. Because we don't have the password, we just go drag this off. We don't actually need those anymore. Don't know what the password is, but that's okay. Password in here, login. Format of initialization string does not conform to specifications starting at index 166. Now that could be an issue with having the quotes still in and not needing them. Let's go and check that out. Yep, so let's go and edit. Let's go edit that one. Just remove those. And save, and then we'll need to go restart the application. Okay. Give that a restart. And we'll watch here for it to disappear and then come back. Whoa. Well, there we go. So if we look at the role here, so this role actually lets us kind of switch between the different apps here. Cool. So when we get to actually building something out that's maybe like a microservice thing, we'll be able to start seeing things like doing transactions and stuff like that. So, alright. Well, I had 4 at one point, but now 1 disappeared. And we have 1 coming back up. So I'm assuming is this one with a CPU of 60%. So let's go and hit that one. Okay. Oh, that's going to be funny. Don't think that's the password we want. Just saying, I think that was a little long. It's alright. And lock in. There we go. Alrighty. So, using the environmental variable, we've managed to give our app connection to the DB. We've done that through configuration values, so we don't have that stored in code anywhere, which is good. We can mostly do the same with the App Insights instrumentation information rather than storing it in the actual files, in the the app settings.json, we could do the same kind of thing to get that information in. Righty, so that was an issue with our connection string where we had the double quotes left on there. I kind of thought that was going to happen, but it's right. Good to prove it. Save that value there, and again we'll do that one here as well. So just so we have a connection strings one here. Didn't think that maybe should try and use that next time, but for now, was app settings is fine. I wonder if we just put in, I guess I could try it. It's not gonna hurt. We only got a little bit of time left for tonight, so we might as well try something. So if we come in here and we want to connection string, so let's just do the learn more here and see how does that get. Okay, so we'd actually have to call that specifically to get the connection string. And are we doing that in here? No, we are doing that in there, so let's give it a shot, and I'll call this SQL server. Actually, we'll call this what it is, the correct name. I'll just put in the name, and then we'll put in the connection string here. And then we'll say okay. And then we will delete that connection string there, and it will save. So it'll be interesting if we reload this, is this going to allow us to connect still? So let's give it a restart. And that's what we're seeing rather than so you can now see the role name within there, which is useful. Now we can see where the committed memory drops. All right. Okay, so we've refreshed. Let's try and do the login. Is it going to find the connection string? Alright, looks like it did. Let's get a double check. Yep, no, it's not there, it's in connection strings here. Alright, so that was a bit of an easy way of doing it. log out. And we'll do our login again. Yep, cool. Alrighty, so that's working there. So we're setting these values in here. Now, it's mostly something we could do with Terraform, but again, seeing there be a bit of an issue with keeping things from drifting from configuration, just with the way this is being kind of managed a bit. I can see this being fine if you're just putting up very simple websites and you don't really have a huge big deployment. I'm also apparently doing this hard way because I could be setting up CI/CD for the application directly into the app service rather than setting containers and doing all the containerization and everything. But I am a fan of containerization, so I think that's what we should be doing. Alrighty. And I think I've killed my app insights. Let's go through to the application map. There's app insights. So if I go to prod, I should now be able to. I should just be able to delete that. I should be able to do a connection string. Should just be able to do this rather than messing around with that. I'll do that. SQL, save. Okay. So test should be already running. So we should be able to do a login from test. Because again, this is all using the same database. So it should all work with the login information. Yep, there we go. So that's dev, that's test. And we should be able to do production. And log in. And there we go. So we have logged in to all three environments. Alright, then we go back to the app insights. Give that a bit of a refresh. Take a minute for that one. But you can see here, test app here is connecting in to the database. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. So I think there we go. Now everything's kind of connecting in here. But so I think we're pretty much done with the app service stuff. So we got App Insights done tonight, which is good. We did some environmental variable stuff with App Insights and .NET so that we can provide connection strings without putting them in code. Messed around a bit with trying to make sure everything even works from a local. We've run in the entirety of tonight through a code space, so we haven't actually really been doing anything locally apart from the Azure, so the data studio, which we needed to actually do our connection and give our login for our application, since we're not using managed identities. We were just using straight SQL logins, which is fine because we're not committing them to source code. So that's pretty much where I think we might wrap up this one here. But what we might do next time is start on a new project where I think we should build some microservices. So we'll be building several applications. So we'll have, say, a couple APIs, a front-end app, maybe like a function app as well, just to kind of round things out. And we'll use a backend database, maybe a message queue, maybe even a cache, just to play around with these different ideas. And my goal here would be to, again, continue containerization, keep everything containerized, have Docker images for everything, use Terraform. So we're not going to use Terraform, we're going to look at Bicep, and use Bicep for our infrastructure as code, and try and do some more kind of advanced monitoring metrics with the system, see if we can really see how this works in a more kind of real world context. Apart from that, so I've got a bunch of OpenAI stuff that I'll be working towards maybe later in the week, so I might jump on, do some more work on the Twitch bot. I want to try out a couple of the local models for GPT, so rather than running them on Azure, I want to see if the local models will work fine for a chatbot instance, and that way kind of saves a bit of cost and things like that, and also constantly running up and down to the Azure App Service when I can just be like, apologies, definitely I think bedtime for me. But I hope everyone got something out of this kind of initial first series. The other thing I might do, kind of following on from this, is take a lot of the things I've learned, a lot of kind of aspects of this that we've done, and try and cut them down into little kind of 20-minute videos with kind of just the core points, like here's how you do some Terraform, here's how you do OIDC, which I wasn't able to show on stream. I should be able to do in a video. Setting up the identity, setting up database contexts, connecting them into a database, all that kind of stuff I think would be worth just kind of breaking down and doing step by step in much shorter, kind of more scripted content. Cool. Alrighty, well, I hope everyone has a great week, and as always, the code is available on GitHub for this kind of demonstration under the Twitch Steam app service, not stream, but that's okay, just type. And I hope everyone has a great week. Catch you all later.